now for something completely different.
There are no safe spaces here. The truth shall make you free. So you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? And what did we learn? Well, here's another fine mess you've gotten us into.
The Craig L. Hayes Show. Just thinking, where we talk about everything else.
Hello, America, family, friends, and listeners all around this planet we call home. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show. Just thinking. Coming to you from the Northern Command Center here in Enterprise, Utah. And it is the, let me see if I can figure out what date it is. It's somewhere around, November. I'd like to be able to say exactly what day it is, but I cannot remember what our date is. I think it's the 20, I'm going to say the 23rd or something like that. I'm probably wrong. I apologize for that. And take a look at here. 24th. You know, when all else fails, just grab your phone and look at it. 24th of November, 2025. Today's topic and subject matter is going to be about the elections that happened a couple weeks ago. I was out of town in Japan at one time, and I've been to Vegas. I've been doing a couple things and not had time to really sit down and do anything here. Plus, then I got a little bit sick, and I haven't felt like doing anything other than just, being miserable, I guess you want to call it. Anywho, we're here today. Let's talk about these elections that we had, that the liberal media, which is all media that isn't like Newsmax and Turning Point and a couple other really good ones out there. Salem Network, you have a couple America's First, and there's a few really good ones out there. Some great streaming networks and stuff that are doing some great work for all of us. But we're going to talk about the elections. ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, PBS, you name it, all the co-conspirators in destroying this nation. And they are co-conspirators along with the Democrat Party, Islamists, and communists, which are all part of the Democrat Party. So all of those groups, people and stuff like that, claim to have such a mandate and showing that Trump isn't really very strong. He's not very big. He can't take on the social democrats. He can't take on the Islamic Democrats. He can't take on anybody that's going to stand up against his platform and stuff like that. Virginia and in Minnesota and Michigan and on and on that crap goes. God bless them all. You know how they can function with such low IQs? I do not know. But let's get back to this. Virginia. Virginia is a blue state. Once in a while, they'll pull their heads out of their rectal orifice, and they'll elect somebody as governor to help stop the insanity. This time, they elected a total left insane governor and somebody who should be arrested for the threats that he made about people shooting his opponents and stuff like that. That man should be in jail and being prosecuted. But no, they elected him as the Attorney General, the man who is going to go and enforce the laws of the state on everybody. Now, how would you love to be a Republican in that state and somebody's done something to you and he finds out you're a Republican? How bad do you think he's going to take and fight for justice for you? He won't. Now, on the other side, how about if you tell some Democrat in that state that they're a pile of crap, and then he decides that is a hate crime, that is threatening, that is all these different things? How far do you think he's going to come after you and try to convict you and put you in prison for the rest of your life? He's going to. Oh, you don't believe me? You don't believe me that that type of stuff can go on? Did you not just watch what was going on all over the country with Donald Trump, who did absolutely nothing, committed no crimes, nowhere, and yet he got, 90 felony, whatever you want to call it, against him? Got convicted on a few of them for nothing, for zero nada, just because they don't like him. That happened all over the country. That happened in New York. That happened down in Atlanta. That's happened in other states that they went after him. And you're going to have the gall and the balls to tell me, oh, yeah, but this guy won't do that to anybody like that in Virginia. Bull crap. You need to have your head examined. He will come after you any chance he gets, and he will not put away any criminals that are damaging, destroying, or trying to overthrow the state of Virginia. Virginia is lost. If Virginia is lost, my brother used to say how Virginia goes, the nation will go too. In some ways, I think he's correct. Now, if Virginia's decided they wanted to go full-on communist, they wanted to go full-on Democrat, they want to go full-on weaponizing of government and stuff like that. We've already seen that. We've already seen that in New York. We've seen it in other cities. We've seen it in California. We've seen it all over the place. Washington, Oregon, all these different places. We have seen this already. So, let's take a look at it another way. Are they going to do anything to support and defend the Constitution of the United States? No. All right, let's jump over to New York. New York City. An Islamist, anti-Semite, communist was just elected as mayor. Let's make sure you understand that again. A anti-Semite Islamist, meaning he believes in Sharia law, he wants to institute that throughout the world, and a communist was elected as mayor of New York City, the financial city of the world. It's the center of Money Universe 101. He only received less than 51% than the vote. So him to try to walk in there and say, I got a mandate to change everything in this city, give everything away for free, tax everybody that I can, destroy everybody's lives, because that's what will happen if he institutes anything of socialism or communism. He is a communist. If he does any of that in that city, all capital will flee that state. Then who's going to pay for all this free, I'm using air quotes with my fingers, stuff? Nobody. Nobody will be around to pay for any of this stuff. Nobody will be able to pay for any of this stuff. Everybody out there that has any real money is going to leave, meaning you're going to lose billions of dollars a year in tax revenue, but then you're going to increase the size and the scope and the spending of your state, city, whatever government by tens of billions. Who is going to pay for that? I'll tell you right now, nobody. I don't know what you New Yorkers were thinking, and I am so blown away that he got a huge chunk of the Jewish vote. Are you Jews out of your mind? This man is supported by CAIR, C-A-I-R, the Council on American Islamic Relations, which is a branch part and subservient to the Muslim Brotherhood, which is a terrorist organization in the Middle East. And yet you guys went and voted for this guy. Are you out of your mind? Have you lost your ever-loving Jewish brains and not figured this stuff out? Because he said something maybe to the effect of, well, I'm going to get along with everybody because, I'm not really that bad person and stuff. But if Benjamin Netanyahu actually comes to this town, I'm going to arrest him. I want to see that. Oh, I want a front row. If Benjamin Netanyahu goes to New York to go to the United Nations, I want to be somewhere where I can just walk in the crowd and just watch this jackass of a mayor send his police to try to arrest the leader of another nation. Because he believes that the international law from the International Criminal Court overrides and supersedes our Constitution and our laws. This is how stupid this man is. He is a well-polished person that has been put out there by the Muslims to get into power in New York City. This is all this is. Now we can talk about Michigan, which is Dearborn, and I can't remember where it was in Minnesota. Minnesota, St. Paul. Anyway, St. Paul. You guys all ran Muslim guys there too, and you guys all were voting for these guys. Have you not understood that Islam is not compatible here in the United States with our Constitution? Muslims should not be allowed in this country. I'm going to plain out say it right now. Their belief system, which is a cult, Islam is a cult. It's not even a religion. It's a cult. It is not compatible with the United States Constitution and our laws. And it is counter to our Judeo-Christian values and ideology of law in this country. Oh, Craig, are you as a Islamophobe? No. I just know who these people are. I just know that Islam is not compatible. Why is it that if Islam were to go into another nation that is, we'll just say India. Okay, so Islam goes into India. What happens? Instant problems between Muslims and Hindus. Let's say it goes into some place, where shall we go here now? Well, let's go to Japan or something like that. If Islam goes into Japan, there's problems between Buddhists and Islam because Islam causes the problems. Muslims cause the problems. They are a 7th century barbarian culture and ideology. And they have not had a reformation and changed. Christianity was a barbarian and evil practice as used by the Catholic Church early in its existence, in the 7th, 8th, 9th, centuries and stuff. Clear into the 11th century when they had the Inquisitions and stuff. But it had a reformation. It reformed itself. It reformed itself into the teachings of peace, just as Jesus had taught them. Islam has not had that yet. 1,400 years later, they are still a barbarian, evil, satanic cult. And we're voting for these people in places of power who are full-blown Islamists, who want to overthrow our nation and turn it into a Sharia law nation. That's what this last election was about. I wasn't surprised that Democrats won in these areas. They're blue states. Come on, people, pull your heads out. It's amazing when a Republican wins in a blue state. It's not amazing and sets anything precedent that when a blue, dark blue, super navy blue Democrat wins in a blue state. It's not that amazing. It's not incredible. It's like, duh. That's exactly what should have happened according to the people who live there and vote there. So please, do not tell me that this set what's coming up in 2026 And it's going to be a good example of what's going to happen. We don't know anything. That's a year away. That's 11 months away. How do we know anything about that? You know what? 11 months is an eternity in politics. You know how many things can happen in this country and in the world that could change everything, could change everything in this nation. So please don't get wrapped up in caring too much about these elections that were won by navy blue candidates in blue states. Means nothing. The only tragedy is the imposing of their ideology and belief system on the other people who don't believe like that is going to be destructive. That's the sad part. That's the destruction part. And I'll tell you right now, I do not want to see one dime of federal dollars going to New York City to bail it out when this guy destroys it. I think New York should figure out how to deal with it. I think New York should figure out how to survive, how to bring themselves back. You know what it's going to be? It'll get so bad they'll have to take and elect a strong Rudy Giuliani Republican to go in there and clean that city out. That's what we're going to see in 4 years. Because this guy within 4 years will have destroyed so much it's not going to be funny. If he's allowed to do what he wants to do. Remember, he still has to get the city council or whatever you want to call their little political group there to go along with it. But they're all Democrats too, so they probably will. So it's not a one-man wrecking ball. It's probably a whole bunch of wrecking balls in there. Are they all going to swing at the same thing at the same time? I don't know. One thing we can be sure of is this kind of destruction is not new. We've seen it all already, all over the world. This kind of destruction that they want to implement, this so-called socialism, which is actually nothing more than communism, because if you asked Lenin of the Soviet Union, Lenin flat out said that socialism is just a step to communism. So it's communism. You elected a Islamist, Sharia law, anti-Semite, hate American communist to be the mayor of the world's financial system. God, you people are dumb. You people, good grief. I think historians in the future are going to look at this and go, what the beep were they thinking? But anyways, that's about elections. And remember, elections mean an awful lot, but sometimes they don't mean hardly anything at all. And I think this is one of those. Other than New York City, the rest of this stuff just proves a theory that I've always had. That as a people, when a people as a whole become more and more corrupt and evil, now listen to me, when a people become more and more corrupt and evil, they naturally gravitate to that which is evil, and that is, in this day and age, the Democrat Party. If you don't like what I just said, sorry about your feelings not liking something that's being said. Don't care, said I. The Democrat Party is an evil party, led by Satan himself, or at least a whole bunch of his active demons. And where you take and gravitate naturally to that, that means you're gravitating naturally to darkness instead of light. Because there is only darkness and light. And there is no light in the Democrat Party. There is no light in Islam. There is no light in any other religion other than the Judeo-Christian beliefs we have in this country. That would be Judaism and Christianity. So anyways, I've said some pretty hard things. I've gotten a little rough with a few people. Not meaning to take and beat up on people too bad. I'm trying to be a little bit more compassionate. I'm trying to be a little bit nicer. But sometimes stupidity just requires you to call stupidity stupidity. And sometimes it requires you to sit there and point out the dumbness of so many people. Sometimes it just requires us as Christians, and I am a Christian, a full-fledged, fully believing God the Eternal Father in physical form, and Jesus Christ, His only begotten Son, in full physical form as glorified people. I believe in Jesus Christ. He is my Savior. I am depending on Him to be that. That is the gospel of light. Our brothers in that are on the path to Christianity, and that is our brothers in our Hebrew brothers and sisters. Anyhow, here we are. It's been a wonderful morning so far. I'm going to do a couple more episodes on some other topics that I've been thinking about for a couple days. Feeling pretty good, feeling pretty strong, feeling like I want to get into a fight and a tussle, and let's get some stuff done. Let's take and start standing up for the things that are important. Let's start saying the things that we need to, and standing up against darkness, standing up against evil, standing up against the demons of this world, because we are in a fight. You may not sense it, you may not feel it, you may not think so, but we are in a fight. And we have to win this, because our loss in this nation takes the entire world down with us. Is that a strong enough belief system? Is that incentive enough for you to get into this fight and stand up for the belief systems that we have? I hope they are. So let's get busy. Let's get busy. As Larry would say, let's get her done and get going on this stuff. I am Craig Hayes, and I'm happy to have you here listening to this podcast. Share it with friends, family. Tell them to subscribe. Tell them to follow. Tell them to do all that fun stuff on YouTube. And I'm going to keep on making waves. Until the next time.
You've been listening to the Craig L. Hayes Show. Just thinking.